What's going on, guys? We are back for another episode of Start the Rebuild or STR. I am Ian Mills, joined by Tim Fournier and Zach Patrone for episode number 45, otherwise known as the Bob Gibson episode.
The Donovan Mitchell episode.
Michael Jordan, that 1 year episode.
Indubitably, indubitably.
We were
I
we were talking
swear,
about this before, and for the way my brain works, the first thing that popped into my head was Pat Ricard's new number on the
Mhm.
Giants as a fullback, former 42 on the Ravens.
I say
we're,
we roll
we're
with that.
Yeah,
Pat
we're in a
Ricard,
weird spot where like 46 through 49, there's
yep,
not going to be a lot. And then once we get to the 50s, there's going to be,
a
I
lot
think
of
there's going to be
linebackers.
a lot of linebackers, 50s,
We're about to get
60s.
into offensive lineman
We're
range.
getting a lot of O line in the 60s, 70s, 80s will be fun, when we
Yeah.
inevitably get
What do
there.
we do when
90s
we
will
get
be
to
fun.
100?
I think
Referees?
referees, we could do it where you like add up the numbers or like a duo. So like 101, you got to find someone who wore number
Mm.
10 and then another
Oh,
player who wore one, maybe on the
I
same
actually like
team,
that a lot. So if
something
it's
along
like,
those lines.
say it's 123. Oh, you saying they have to play together?
Well, I mean, just to make a fight, we don't have to do it that way. I mean, it
Okay.
could be.
Then
I just pitched that.
123, you could say like the Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson episode.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Or do we
I
just
think
go back to like it's just the one doesn't matter, it's 23.
One's got to
um
matter.
we got, but in that way, we're going to be just repeating what we had for like episode 23.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the fans
They
need
need new
new
content. Will
combos. They
deserves
need
it.
new
Will
combos.
deserves it.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Will
feel like
deserves it.
you guys have done harder numbers than in the 40s before. I think we'll be good.
I hope so. I hope so.
I
We're
think
gonna
we'll
be
be good.
playing
I think we'll be
100.
good. If we could conquer 45, we can conquer anything. I think
47 is gonna be tough. Angus Chase
Pedro,
had a number.
45,
There you go.
Pedro Martinez, one more, just to toss that in there. But
What numbers
it
did he not
is
wear?
it is the middle of the NFL offseason. So what better time to come prepped with our, I'm not gonna say predictions, but our hot takes. Hot to mild takes, just to see how we're feeling
Very
ahead of
preliminary.
training camp. Yeah, that begins in about a week. I want to start with Zach. Zach, can you give us
I've been
your
waiting that.
hottest take, or maybe not hottest take, but your take that you have the most conviction in this early on in the offseason?
So my hot take, I don't know if this is, I'm not going crazy with this. Obviously there's a lot of competition in the AFC. But I'm gonna go with the Raiders. I think the Raiders can be sneaky good. I think they can push for a playoff spot. I think the division's tough. I think we could maybe see a little regression from the Broncos. I think they kind of found lightning in a bottle for a little bit. Obviously, I mean they had a tremendous year. But the Raiders, obviously, they're one of the big issues last year was obviously quarterback, but their O line was a mess. They added Tyler Linderbaum to the center position. And I think, I mean, they gave him a good contract. I think that's good. I think they took a guard in the third round. So they're helping their O line a bit. They have two great tight ends who are taking another step. Obviously, their receiving core is not great in terms of wide receivers. I think they made a move. I think they got like Jalen Naylor. I believe which isn't a big move, but it's adding someone to the roster. Ashton Jenny should take a step this year, and I think I can see Mendoza and Kubiak having a good dynamic. I guess we'll see. I'm not going to say they're going to win 10 games, but can they win 8 or 9 and maybe push for the playoffs till the end? We'll see if they stay healthy. But I think with a good offensive coach and a lot of young talent, again, the defense is a little questionable. They made a couple moves. But like I said, still questions in the O line. But I can see with those weapons, I'm having a high powered offense, and maybe making a little run. We'll see.
Ian, you want to
Tim,
go? You want me to go?
no, I'll default to you.
Okay. Well, I guess you sort of answered my first question, but it was, do you think this is Mendoza led? Is this Kirk Cousins led? Does Mendoza start week one and he's better than expected and that's what leads to this? Or is it like they're doing okay, but they kind of realize Kirk Cousins isn't it and Mendoza gets the reins in week four and is doing really well?
I think we've kind of noticed a trend in a sense where after the draft, we're always kind of seeing the backup, and this guy's going to play 1 to 2 years, and the rookie's going to sit and watch. But, Jackson Dart, obviously, he was in there quicker than I thought. And that's just an example. I think we're seeing these, even Drake May. We were kind of thinking that these rookies would sit behind the guy for a while, but it seems like these coaches and general managers, maybe the owners, are kind of quick with the hook to just let's get the young guy in, let's get the fans more engaged, let's get him something to be excited about. So even like Michael Penix or something, at the end of that year, I don't think that Kirk Cousins necessarily has to be bad for them to give him the hook. But I think that he can definitely be a good mentor. He can lead that offense, and I just think Mendoza's a really good talent, and I could kind of see them, really being excited about him in camp, in practice, and if they get to 2-2, 2-3, and they give Mendoza the starting job, I think that, like I said, like not 8, 9 wins. I think 9 wins is more than possible. And I could see Mendoza stepping in as early as really like October, you know?
Yeah, I think the bull case there is that Kubiak coming in kind of continues his like really obviously hot stretch of like being really innovative, offensive
Yeah,
line improved.
right.
Genti like has
Yeah.
to take a huge leap in year
Mhm.
two, and
Yeah.
Bowers has to absolutely stay healthy. Like their receiving core is really bad, but when you look at
Yeah.
it in terms of Bowers is the number one, and then they have these ancillary pieces.
Yeah.
Jack Bash coming into year two as wide receiver could
Good
be
receiver.
sort of like bigger slot player. Kubiak did a lot of that with, like Cooper Kupp as a bigger slot receiver, stuff like that. So I
Yeah.
think that would be the bull case for the offense, and obviously Mendoza would have to be good. I'm just really worried about that defense. I think they actually overperformed last year, and then they lost Patrick Graham, who I think with the defensive coordinator played a big role in that. I think he went to the Steelers. So they're going to be after replacing that. So I'm a little worried about the defense. That's sort of like my pushback, and I think the division is still pretty good. But I do like the idea. I think Kubiak's a great coach, and the case for this is that he's just an amazing coach. Ian,
And
I
I
don't
didn't,
know thoughts.
yeah, and I didn't even mention they added Quay Walker and Kobe Dean, by the way, to the
Yeah.
defense. So that could help. They're aging, but that could help. We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm bouncing off of him. The defense is bad, and I don't expect it to be good whatsoever. The thing with them too is you mentioned obviously the Broncos' potential regression, which I agree with. I actually do wholeheartedly agree with that. Not that that's the biggest thing in the world, but I also think the Chiefs are gonna be good again. Like the Chiefs are gonna right, the Chiefs are gonna be good again. They're gonna bounce back. The Chargers will probably still be in that 10 to 12 win range. So as Tim mentioned, I still think the AFC West is going to be good. The Broncos will probably go get worse, but I think the Chiefs will get more like will improve more than the Broncos will get worse, if that makes sense. And I think the Chargers are probably a wash. They're probably somewhere in the middle. But yeah, the defense is a big thing for me. Tim mentioned like, hey, they probably outperformed. They were like bottom seven in points, but like middle of the pack in yards, which is one of those things when you look at that, it's a lot of it's about field position. And hey, they had, as you mentioned, quarterback problems last year. Like they turned the ball over a million
Yeah.
times. So ideally, that should help them out a little bit. If Kirk Cousins slash Fernando Mendoza isn't turning the ball over, which I would like to believe that they will play better than Geno Smith in the year 2026, but who knows? Geno Smith will be a starting quarterback next year too. So I like the Raiders as like a sneaky wild card team potentially, but that defense really does scare me, as Tim alluded to.
Didn't they win an
I'll,
Arrowhead with Aiden O'Connell?
Was
I
that
think
2 years ago?
yeah,
Was that it was a Christmas Day? It was Christmas Day.
They
Yeah, it was
played. They
Christmas
play the
Day two
Chiefs
years ago.
tight.
yeah.
They
I'd say
yeah.
the upgrade from going from Pete Carroll to Kubiak is just like an infinitely like amazing
Yes,
upgrade.
I think so
It was
too.
like Pete Carroll's son was offensive line coach, and they had like the worst coached offensive line in the league.
It was a
They're going
mess.
to, I think they'll have a much higher baseline. To your point, I think showing that like a ton in the win column is an uphill battle, but they should be a lot more of like a legitimate
Yeah,
NFL.
floor goes
It
up.
it reminds me of the Patriots going from Gerard Mayo to Mike Vrabel, where
Right.
it's like you're going from like Pete Carroll's had his moments. He's obviously won a Super Bowl, like one
He's
of the
fantastic. Yeah.
he's a top 30 coach of all time, Hall of Famer, without doing too much math. But yeah, clearly he was kind of over the hill at a certain point. Rode with his guy Gino for far too long, but it's not like they really had any other option to do so. But Tim, you want to go next?
Yeah, I would love to go next because this actually plays right into my take. So you both mentioned it. I was smiling. I don't know if you noticed. My take is that the Broncos go from the 1 seed to missing the playoffs. And I
Mm,
don't think the Broncos are some like terrible team. I think they're a well-run team. I think Sean Payton's a good coach. But I think there's a lot of things leading towards some regression. Starting with the AFC itself, I think is going to be pretty tough. You have the Bills, you have the Ravens, you have the Texans, you have the Jaguars, the Bengals putting their defense together a little bit, and Joe
Easy
Burrow
schedule.
going to be
Easy
healthy,
schedule.
easier schedule in their own division. The Chiefs are always going to at least be good. They're never going to be an easy game. I think the Chiefs what we typically think of the Chiefs. It's going to be lower, but they still have a super high floor. And I think the Chargers will probably take a step back with no Jesse Minter on defense. But offensively, I think Mike McDaniel's going to come
mm.
in, and he's your typical, like what we always see with Mike McDaniel's offenses is that it comes out like out the gates, just super like supernova and kind of cools down. But I could see that propelling the Chargers with Herbert to be like a 10-win team. And I think that's going to make the division harder. But then from the Broncos specifically, I think losing Jim Leonard going to the Bills is an interesting thing. Obviously, they still have their defensive coordinator in place in Vance Joseph, but they lose John Franklin Myers, which I think is a really underrated loss on that defensive line. I think that helped them do a lot what they wanted to do on defense with their front being really solid. Losing that. And then Bo Nix coming off the ankle. I was listening to a podcast the other day. He has like a really long history of ankle problems. Um, Dating back to college and maybe high school. Um, but I think, and if you guys remember this random thing when he did get hurt, he was at the podium or something with Sean Payton, and Sean Payton commented on his ankle, and he was really defensive about that. I think
Yeah.
he was defensive about that because he doesn't want this to be like a narrative that like he
Yeah.
has ankle problems. And I
Right.
think it's because he might actually have like legit ankle problems. Where if you see Bo Nix have to deal with that throughout the season, that would obviously make them slide down. They have Waddle coming in, which is maybe going to, balance things out. But I think just with that regression, it's just going to be eye-popping when it goes from they're the 1 seed to are they're fighting for a wild card and could very easily miss with kind of the AFC being pretty open. I don't know if I mentioned the Patriots in that spiel of teams, but I think the Patriots could be better next year, but worse from a record standpoint. But that's my take. I don't know what you guys. It sounds like you guys might be in a little bit of agreement that they're at least going to regress a little.
I agree, obviously, off of pretty much literally everything you said, I agreed with. But just to play devil's advocate, so we have a little bit of a conversation here.
Yeah.
My two things are it seems as though offensively moving up to Davis Webb, they obviously move off of what was it, Lombardi, right? Last OC. Davis Webb now becomes the OC. Sean Payton's still going to be the guy in charge offensively. There's no doubt about that. And that's my thing. Sean Payton offensively is a mastermind. He will continue to be a mastermind. And Jalen Waddle slash Cortland Sutton slash like I just feel like that could be a lot of fun. Not just a lot of fun, but I think it's a major upgrade. In their defense, I don't know. It's not like I think we just automatically assume that the Broncos defense is good just because of like the what 10 years ago. But for me, the idea of them going from 1 seed to out of the playoffs, it's a lot. Admittedly, I agree with it. It's just a major step down, especially for a guy Sean Payton who's just kind of done it time and time again. Especially when he like all he needs is a competent defense. It's like with the Saints, they had the worst defense year in and year out, and those were the only times they struggled. So if he has a competent defense, I'm not going to bet against Sean Payton to just get into the dance. That's really the only thing. And the thing with Bo Nix is I agree with you. Like, look, this could be potentially a this could be bad. Like this could be the start of a bad string of injuries, or it could be a one-time thing. Hey, he got hurt and has figured it out since. Um, so it's kind of wait and see. If Bo Nix is healthy throughout the entire season and is continuing to do what he did last year with Sean Payton, with Jalen Waddle, with Cortland Sutton, I think they're still going to be a decent team. I don't think they're going to be 14-3 and get into the AFC Championship good, but I still think like that would be the case against them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like you said, I do think they have some pop potential. I think Sean Payton's a great coach, and I think just him alone raises your floor a lot. But I do think there's going to be some regression. I can see him being an 8-win team, and obviously, like RJ Harvey, can he take a jump? Jalen Waddle, what's he going to do to the offense? But they play the NFC West, and AFC team. They play the AFC East, so they got to play the Bills. They got to play New England, and they also play Jacksonville. So it's a tough schedule.
First
And
place.
the AFC is the AFC. The AFC West is the AFC West. So there's a lot of losable games. I think they play Pittsburgh as well. Not that they're any good, but Pittsburgh's defense is still legit. And if I'm looking at their schedule, I could chalk down 8 losses, probably, I don't know, kind of easily. And it's weird because we don't really know how this offense is going to look with, Jalen Waddle because, he was under Mike McDaniel forever. And, with the kind of offense that they ran, we haven't really seen Bo Nix. Cortland Sutton's great, but we haven't really seen Bo Nix with, a speedster like that, and how Sean Payton's going to incorporate him. And I can't think of really a stud receiver Sean Payton's really worked with that has speed like that and plays like Jalen Waddle. So it'll be interesting to see how he adapts into that offense. But I think just with the schedule, you got to play Seattle, you got to play San Francisco, you got to play LA, Buffalo, Jacksonville, New England. I mean, there's some losses there. And like you mentioned, Bo Nix's health. If he stays healthy and that offense is humming, like sure, okay. I don't think they're going to repeat and win the division again.
Mhm.
But I can absolutely see a regression there. And, as I mentioned earlier, I think Las Vegas is going to put up more of a fight this year. So yeah, I agree. I can definitely see some regression there. Are they going to win 5 games? No, but I don't think they're going to win 12. I don't see them winning 12 or 13 again.
Yeah.
It's going to be really interesting to watch how they come off and how they recover, especially with that kind of weird dynamic with Bo Nix and Sean Payton, as you mentioned. So it'll be interesting. I think they're an interesting team to watch going into this year, but I can definitely see some regression coming for sure.
Yeah, I mean that's ultimately the take. It's not Broncos are going from 1 seed to top 10 pick. It's more
Yeah,
Right.
they go from 14 win team to 9 win team, and that might
right.
not be good enough to make the playoffs. I also believe I saw that Sean Payton is giving up play calling duties, which could also be interesting
Yeah, I
to
think
see
I
how
saw that too.
that shakes out. They lost Declan Doyle to the Ravens, now their offensive coordinator. He was the QB coach and I think pass game coordinator or something like that.
Yeah, that
Um,
might have been more of like a retention. Like I want to keep this guy on the team, so I'm going to give him more duty rather than him going somewhere else to get, a higher job or higher title like that. I can't see Sean Payton giving up the. I saw the same thing. I'm sure he's going to be more involved, but I
yeah,
still
I don't
see
know
Sean Payton.
but
It's
There's a
interesting. It's
well,
a
there was a
weird. It's weird.
there was a report about Sean Payton literally like a week ago that was like he wanted to be the Broncos OC and hire Belichick
Joe
as his head
Belichick.
I saw
coach.
that.
Like, Sean Payton's gonna do what Sean Payton does.
Just weird, man.
He's
Yeah.
gonna say a million things, he's gonna say weird things, he's gonna like I think that's just who he is.
Yeah.
Sean Payton's gonna say whatever he wants to say and but yeah, whatever, he might do it. Like what was it? What was the other where they played the Bills in the wild card round 2 years ago, and they wanted to run a fake punt and target Jamarcus Ingram
His
because
players are like, no, no.
Jamarcus Ingram's was like he like his wife gave birth, so he missed a week or missed a couple days of practice or whatever. So they wanted to target Jamarcus Ingram. Like he's that kind of guy. Like I don't. Oh, so my freaking video. I don't know why it's doing this. It won't stop.
He ran a fake punt that's the second half of his or if not fake punt, onside kick at the
Onside
second half of the
kick.
Super
Yeah,
Bowl.
yeah.
He's that,
So
he's
nothing
crazy.
about him would shock me. Nothing about
At
him
the
would
end of the
shock me, I
day,
guess is
he's
my point.
still a good coach, and they have a
Great
good
coach.
offensive line, and they're going to have a good defense. So they're going to be a relatively good team. I just
Great
could see
defense.
the regression happening.
I agree.
All right,
All
Ian.
right,
Ian.
I'm up. All right, so I'm taking a swing. I'm taking a big swing here. Maybe it's not big of a swing. I guess we'll see. I'll make it quick. The Jacksonville Jaguars are winning the Super Bowl. They were, in my estimation, the best team in the AFC 1 season ago. They won 8 games heading into the postseason. Admittedly, look, division wasn't always the greatest, especially down the stretch with the Colts being as bad as they were and the Titans kind of falling apart towards the end with a million different coaches. But in my estimation, they were, I thought, the best team going into the AFC playoffs last year. Then they get matched up with the 6 seeded Bills, not the most ideal occasion to have Josh Allen coming into your house, especially in January, where in Jacksonville it was like 50 degrees, which is incredibly rare for Jacksonville. That's not really important, but The Jags in their one playoff game last year played a B minus game in my estimation. They played an average game. They let the Bills hang around, and the more playoff tested team figured it out down late. Josh Allen was incredible down the stretch, and then the Bills shot themselves in the foot against the Broncos the next week. I think the Jaguars in Liam Cohen's second year, he doesn't lose any of the coaches. Grant Udinski should have gotten a job somewhere, and he doesn't lose anything. Really, the only thing they lost was Travis Achen. And as we know, the running back changes isn't the end of the real. What was it? Tutin last year was still getting a decent amount of the of touches. So to me, the Jaguars really don't lose much. They don't add much, admittedly, except Travis Hunter probably playing more snaps this year than he did last year just because of injury. So for that reason, and for the fact that I don't think that the AFC South is going to be much better, I think the Colts, who obviously missed the playoffs last year but were incredible at the start of the season, will once again be mediocre. I think the Titans will probably be marginally better, but still not good enough to contest for the division. And the Texans, the fear with them is that CJ Stroud figures it out, which I would bet probably against their biggest strength will still be defense. So I think the Jags should be the favorite to win the AFC South. And I think barring like Patrick Mahomes returning to like 2022 Patrick Mahomes, the Jacksonville Jaguars will win the Super Bowl come February.
That's a hot take.
Valentine's Day 2027.
There's your hot take.
There's the hot take.
Zach, you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm not picking them to win the Super Bowl. It would be cool. It would be awesome. And it's just kind of weird because like if you put that Jacksonville roster in a, maybe in a market like New York, or let's say they're the Rams, if you just swap rosters with them, it's just a lot easier to take them. Especially in the
Hmm.
past, just because they're Jacksonville. But what I
Yeah,
really like about their GM is he's willing to make some moves. Like he's dealing, he put in an offer sheet for Jake Bobo. We don't see offer sheets in the NFL
true.
very often at all. And he would put in an offer sheet for Jake Bobo, just to add some depth to the receiving core. Um, I only know that because my Flyers put in an offer sheet, so I was doing some offer sheet research, and
Of
how often
course,
does that happen in the
absolutely.
NFL?
Yeah.
But it
Well,
was
it's NBA.
interesting to
It's an
me.
NBA thing. Big thing in the NBA. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I think, obviously they made a big move up to get Travis Hunter. And so I can see the Jacksonville Jaguars being a contending team for, let's say like 7 years or so, just because they have a GM now who's willing to go out and make these moves. And I think that's exciting, but as you look at it, it's kind of like the Chargers thing where I can't really trust Lawrence. I can't really trust Herbert until I see it. And obviously he didn't have his best playoff game against the Bills. They were hosting it's a tough matchup, but at the same time, I mean, he did not play well. And I worry about Houston, man. I really worry about Houston. I mean, CJ Stroud was miserable last year, especially in the playoffs. And I mean, they were right there. I mean, they were the final eight teams. I mean, they were still there at the very end. And that defense is tough. So I don't even know if they're really the bet in the division. But I can see them being good, and I'm rooting for them. Obviously, they lost Achan. Sounds weird saying, to the Saints. And it would be cool to see Tootin take more of the role, see him develop a little bit. Obviously, a great coach. I like to think that that offense is going to be even better in the second year under Liam Cohen. But like, where's Travis Hunter going to fit in? Is he going to be I think they're still going to try to run him at receiver corner, but until they get that figured out, I don't see them being as consistent, or at least him being as consistent as a great player as he can be for being that high of a pick. So it'll be interesting. I don't know if I'm going to pick him to win the Super Bowl. I don't know if I'd pick him to win the division. But I think they're going to be a really fun team to watch offensively, and we'll see if Lawrence can take another step in the second year under Cohen. And who knows? I mean, he's a dark horse MVP candidate if he can.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very, very high on Liam Cohen. I think he is an extremely good coach and up there with one of the best offensive minds in the NFL, probably right behind that tier of that McVay Shanahan group. Um, My whole thing with the Jaguars is I agree that I think they're going to be really good. But I think getting all the way and winning to the Super Bowl is a stretch for me. Obviously, these are supposed to be sort of at least mildly hot takes.
yeah.
Um, I think with the Jags roster is looking through it, they almost have no weaknesses. Like they are like solid across the board. Um, I think they lack a little bit of star power and
Hmm.
studs. Like you can't really point to any point on their roster that's like, oh, they're just not really good here. Maybe
Right.
running back, but that can be a lot more offensive line and play calling dependent. But even looking at their offensive line and their receiving core, it's a lot of like, oh, good player, good player, good player, but like no stud.
Mhm.
Like the receiving core, Jacoby Myers, Parker Washington.
Brian Thomas.
Really,
Yeah.
yeah, they
Brian
really
Thomas.
need like Brian Thomas to get back to his rookie
Right.
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with
Travis
that. I would
Hunter
agree
would
with that.
take a huge like we obviously know how talented he is, but we still need to sort of see it. I think he's going to play a lot more corner this year. That's sort of the plan from what I'm hearing. But I think they just have a lot of really good players, but a sort of a lack of studs, which in my eyes means they're going to be a really good team. They're going to be right around that 10 win mark. It just when it comes to when they're in the final, 8 teams and they're playing the best of the best, I think that's when you kind of see that stud versus average to good player discrepancy show.
I would agree. I mean, you kind of saw it in the Bills playoff game where it was like you had like Trey White's not a star, but Trey White's played in a million playoff games where the Bills comes up big in that game, right? Like experience. You got to be
Yeah.
battle tested in big games like that. So I agree with that. I just think like Trevor Lawrence has played a lot of football, and Trevor Lawrence's best season was last year,
Mhm.
with his first year with Liam Cohen and Grant Udinski. And that was with people, us kind of being low on Brian Thomas, lower than his rookie season, I should say. So I agree with you, Tim, in the fact that like they don't really have any weaknesses, don't really have the star power, but I think they kind of the vibe I get with them making almost no moves in the offseason is, hey, we actually do like our guys. Like we do like the guys on the roster, and we liked what we saw last year. We're confident with another year under Liam Cohen that we're going to take that jump. I just think my whole thing was, hey man, they were really good last year, and you could argue like had they not, I don't know, I felt like they kind of let the Bills off the hook a little bit in that wild card game. And then you know what I mean? Like I just like it's kind of the butterfly effect. Okay, if the Jags advance, then what, right? And so I do feel good about them. Um, but again, the AFC, as we said earlier, it's kind of anyone's game where the Chiefs will be better. The Ravens will more than likely make the postseason again next year. The Bengals and Joe Burrow, you kind of can't rule out, even if the defense is, we'll see. Um, but yeah, I'm planting my fat flag. I'm planting my flag. I'm planting my flag. The Jacksonville Jaguars
Well, I think what?
to win the Super Bowl in 2027, February in 2027.
Love
So
it.
if nobody has any other, oh, actually, I do have one more hot take. I'll make it quick.
Let's do. I think you kind of got a rapid fire one, and Zach might have some in the chamber. We can just like rapid fire, like quick run through them rather than have
Zach,
like a
you
whole
want to
monologue.
shoot your shot real quick? Shoot one of yours out real quick.
Yeah. So if I have, just a quick hot take,
Yep.
I think the NFC East is going to be a tougher division than people think. Because and I'm not even really thinking about Dallas. CeeDee Lamb, I guess, seems fine playing under the franchise tag, which is, or not CeeDee Lamb, I'm sorry, George Pickens, which seems great. So it doesn't seem like there's any animosity there between owner and player. But if you just look at, I think the Eagles, they lost AJ Brown, but they also lost a lot of toxicity. And I think this is weird to say, but Saquon Barkley has always gone good year, bad year, good year, bad year for the most part. I'm not saying that he's going to have a huge year because of that. But I do think that getting AJ Brown out of the room can actually help that team. Because I do think to a certain point, Jalen Hurts was almost forced to get the ball to him. He really didn't, eventually, but he kind of felt the pressure to do so. They didn't really lose anyone other than AJ Brown. And obviously the Giants are going to take a pretty decent step. Again, I don't think they're going to be a Super Bowl contender by any means, but they're going to get better. And Washington, I don't think Washington can get with what they have. I don't think they can get much worse than where. Obviously, if Jaden Daniels stays healthy, they're going to be contending for that division. And I just wrote off Dallas, but they can still put up a fight against these teams within the division. So I think that division is going to be a dogfight. I really do. I think Jalen Hurts is sneakily underrated when it comes to not necessarily his talent, but when it comes to his, I guess it's kind of an overused term, but his kind of game management. I still think that that division could get three teams into the playoffs. So I think that division is going to be a dogfight. I can see the Giants putting up maybe 10 wins. I can see the Eagles. I don't think the Eagles are going to put up less than 10 wins just because of the roster that they've built over the last 5 years. And then Washington, if Jaden Daniels can stay healthy, there's not many other reasons, unless you're really down on Dan Quinn, there's not many other reasons why that team can't win 10 games. Unless Jaden Daniels had a great rookie year and that was it, I think that division is going to be a dogfight. And I think that division is going to get three playoff teams. And I think that division is going to have two of the final eight in the NFL come to the divisional round of the playoffs.
I hate the New York Football Giants this year. I do not like
I'm
John
really low on the
Harbaugh.
Giants too. I can't lie,
I
but
don't like Jackson Dart. I don't think Jackson Dart's particularly great. I'm not high on
I'm
the
planting my
Giants
flag. I'm
whatsoever.
planting my
That's
flag on the
okay.
Giants.
you're
Plant the
what?
flag.
I'm going to be an
Um,
idiot, but let's go.
so what I will say though is I do like the Eagles. I think the Eagles will once again be very good. It's not a hot take to take the Eagles. Admittedly, look, it didn't look great toward the end of last season. Obviously them losing in the first round of the postseason against the 49ers. But I still think the Eagles will once again be good. They're only a season removed from winning the Super Bowl. The Cowboys, I actually am higher on the Cowboys than you are. I think I'm much higher on the Cowboys. I think Brian Schottenheimer actually had a decent first season, which was like kind of head scratching because when he got hired, it was like, why are you hiring Brian Schottenheimer? That doesn't make sense. Like, what's he done in recent memory? But then he was good. Like, he was good at managing
It's
the team.
good.
It seemed like he didn't take himself too seriously. They obviously add Quinnen Williams at the trade deadline. I know the Micah Parsons trade gets kind of memed to death, but like, like I'm not. They didn't get better. I'm not going to pretend like they got better, but but like Quinnen Williams is going to be. I think he's going to be a difference maker on that defense again. I think the defense got like weirdly better as the season went on, but I mean it was really bad at the start of the season. And the big thing with them, obviously, Dak Prescott's going to hopefully play 17 games. Like he was injured for much of the season last year. I think I genuinely do believe Dak is like a top 6 or 7 quarterback in the NFL when he's healthy. Um, and we just kind of treat him for whatever reason, he gets a lot of flack, a lot more. I guess he hasn't had the playoff success. So I'm higher on the Cowboys than you are. And then the Commanders, I don't know. With them, Dan Quinn and Jaden Daniels to me, again, the first year they went to the NFC Championship together, incredible. Dan Quinn to me has had like 2 good years as a head coach in the NFL. And that might be like that genuinely might be it. Like, and maybe he'll have a third. I don't know, but I'm not super confident. I don't think that defense is super good. They're still hanging on to like Bobby Wagner. Like, I know he is going to have the Madden ratings, but Bobby Wagner should not really be a starting linebacker, middle linebacker in the year of alert
He's
2026.
old.
He's gonna get like a million tackles. I'd be willing to bet, but and then Jaden Daniels, the thing with him, like kind of on the opposite side of the spectrum with of Dak, where it's like, okay, I know I just said, hey, if Dak's healthy, the Cowboys are going to be great. Yeah, if Jaden Daniels is healthy the entire season, then the Commanders will be good. But I don't know how. Maybe it's just the curse of RG3. That's why I'm doubting Jaden Daniels. But I don't know. I think it's going to be a fine division. I think it's going to be the Eagles. This camera's driving me up a freaking wall, dude. But like, what am I supposed to do? Like, it's just going up. It just keeps going up. I'm
You're in
like,
the sky.
dude, it's not. So,
I
um,
could have saved us a lot of time if I just said Jane Daniels MVP. Plant my flag.
so in conclusion, Eagles good, Cowboys better, Giants, Commanders, eh. So I don't know. I don't wholeheartedly disagree, but I think they'll have two decent teams. I don't think they'll have 3 playoff teams. I think maybe 2.
yeah, I think my take on the division is I can have a pretty quick take on it where I feel really good about the Eagles foundation. I think they're going to be good. I think I kind of side with Ian a little bit on the Cowboys. I like their coaching staff, their roster. I think they're going to be a very good team. The Giants, I just cannot get excited about a John Harbaugh, Matt Nagy pairing there, and then
You're
Malik
biased. You're
Hooker.
biased, Tim. You're biased.
Maybe I am. I can't get excited about John Harbaugh, let alone Matt Nagy. And then Malik Neighbors has had, from everything I'm hearing, really bad recovery status
Yeah.
with he might miss the first almost half the season, maybe. I think
And
that's
they
just
lost Wandale Robinson too.
lost one on Robinson. I think that's a lot to put on Jackson Dart going into year two. So that's why I'm low on the Giants. And then the Commanders, I see them as very boom or bust. So if they boom, they could be right up in Zach's alley, or they could bust and be more towards Ian. I don't really know where it's going to land. Maybe it is somewhere in the middle. My biggest thing with them is two big coordinator changes. Uh, Cliff Kingsbury and Jaden Daniels, I felt like was a really good pairing in year one. Daniels then gets hurt. Kingsbury sort of gets outed there. I don't really know what happened there. And they promote David Blau, first time OC. He was like he was a player like 3 years ago. So that's going to be interesting. And then their defensive coordinator. I'm forgetting his name. I can't think of it at the top of my head, but he's a Brian Flores disciple, but he's a young guy. And it's going to be his first time as a coordinator. So I could see that. I like the Flores scheme and everything Flores has done. So I could see that being a really big boom, like underrated upside they have on defense as they added some talent. Or it could be first time play caller coordinator. We've seen this happen before where it takes a year or two to really get implemented and you don't really, it doesn't work out well. And then along the same lines of the Jaden Daniels stuff, could go really well. He showed such great promise. We saw Stroud have a really good rookie year and kind of fall off. Where does that land? So I see the Commanders as very boom or bust. They boom, this is much more towards Zach's outcome. They bust, it's much more towards Ian's outcome in the division.
Yeah, I think the Commanders are the wild card. Like, I think it's like I'm confident in how I feel about the Eagles. I'm confident how I feel about the Cowboys if Dak plays 17 games, and I'm confident with how I feel about the Giants. The Commanders are like again. My reasoning for the Commanders not being good is Dan Quinn. Is Dan Quinn good? I don't know. And then Jaden Daniels. Is Jaden Daniels good? Maybe.
He's good. He's just not healthy.
Uh, I don't know.
All right, for my second hot take, this will be really quick. I just want to get both of your opinions on this. If I
Mhm.
set the line at Bears over under 10 and a half. I'm honestly not even sure where I lie. If I set the over under at 10 and a half wins, are you guys going over or under?
For the Bears,
Yeah.
over. I think. I'd have to look at their schedule, but
Knee jerk. We want this knee jerk. Ian's going over.
uh it's close, but I'll go over.
Zach?
They have an easy schedule. I'm going over.
Okay. I said it there sort of because I know Zach you're lower on Caleb, so I thought you would probably be saying under. If gun to my head, I'm probably saying over because I really like the offensive line and Ben Johnson and the weapons, and it's just going to be how much better can Caleb
Well,
get.
you
But
said 10 and a half?
yep.
That the NFC North, man. I mean, I think the Vikings are going to be
Oh,
good.
division.
I think Kyler Murray. Like I'm a big Kyler guy. Maybe that's a hot take. I love Kyler Murray. I think Kyler Murray is going to be great with Kevin O'Connell. Like I'm so happy that they've like basically moved on from JJ McCarthy. Just because, no offense to JJ McCarthy, he could be a good quarterback. I actually think a lot of rookie quarterbacks, younger quarterbacks, need more time. If you're the Vikings, come on, just you have Kyler Murray. He fell into your lap. I think the Vikings will be better. I think the Packers will be a playoff team again, and the Lions will probably bounce back. That would be the case against the Bears. Is that hey, you have potentially four teams hovering or above 500. That would be my case against the Bears
All right.
more so than anything. All right, my take real quick. I'll make it super quick. Don't ask Sean McVay, but the Los Angeles Rams were so smart for drafting Ty Simpson, and they might have had one of the best off seasons in NFL history. Full stop. The Ty Simpson thing, the Ty Simpson piece, everyone's complaining. They're picking 13th overall and they're in win now mode and they have the reigning MVP. Why are they picking a project out of Alabama who's played 1 year or started 1 year of college football? Because he's good. A, because he's good. And second, because you can afford to do it. They already traded for Trent McDuffie. They traded for Myles Garrett. I understand why, yes, okay, look, we lost to the Seahawks. You want to continue to add on defense. I wholeheartedly get that piece of it, but they added no matter what. How often have the Rams under since being in LA have they picked in the first round that high specifically, right? They have Jared Goff, and now they have Ty Simpson. I think Ty Simpson is a perfect candidate to sit for a year behind Matt Stafford. He has like all of the physical gifts, got beat up to hell with Alabama last year because they couldn't run the ball for God knows what reason. So it all relied on him. The entire offense was on his shoulders, and they were in the playoff. Like, not to say maybe they shouldn't have been, but they were in the playoff. Their offense was directly through him. And here's the thing: everyone says, well, he's not going to play this year. How do you know that? He could play this year. Not just could he, like Matthew Stafford was like going into last season. People didn't think Matt Stafford was going to play football again. Like during training camp, they were convinced, and then he has an MVP season. If Matt Stafford gets hurt this season, you would rather have Ty Simpson with all of his offensive, with all of his weapons, with Sean McVay in his ear over like Jimmy Garoppolo or Stetson Bennett. That's just my opinion. And it's not talking about, hey, we're going to have Ty Simpson start 10 games during the stretch because Matt Stafford broke his knee. Yeah, if that happens, the Rams season will probably lost. But here's the good thing. If Matt Stafford is out for 4 weeks or a month or a half, Ty Simpson is a capable quarterback. Yeah, I know, like, as I said, he's a project. He's going to need to learn. His accuracy has been spotty at times. But in the same vein, like Sean McVay, his whole thing early on was, hey, we're going to make Jared Goff into just doing exactly what I say at all times. And it worked for a period of time until Jared Goff kind of couldn't work off schedule with Sean McVay. And then they moved on to a guy who had all the offensive strengths and a little bit more experience. So the Rams, it's a two-parter. The Rams had a great offseason. They said screw the picks for a long time, but getting Trent McDuffie, getting Myles Garrett, and then still getting your quarterback of the future. Like you're still getting your quarterback of the future. You're getting two potentially all-pro additions on defense and a guy who you hope is going to be a quarterback for the next 10 years after Stafford leaves. So big
Zach,
Ty Simpson guy. I'm a big Ty Simpson guy.
I can tell. Yeah, here's the thing though. Like this was kind of it's eerily similar to I mean Ty Simpson was a higher pick than Jordan Love, but it's similar. Both are coming off an MVP season, both starting quarterbacks in that sense. But I think what the Rams did nice was they built for the future in the draft, but in free agency they also built for the current. Because you mentioned Trent McDuffie, they also got Jalen Watson from the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So they're building their defense that way with veteran guys who have experience. Listen, I think the Rams are going to be a force this year. I really do. I mean, I saw like a Bleacher Report article. Aaron Donald already, he's already. I mean, he's
I
trying to
didn't even
build his
mention Aaron
best.
Donald. I didn't even mention Aaron Donald. When
He
he
didn't mention
comes
Aaron Donald.
back, come on.
Yeah, but in
That
terms,
offseason. All right, whatever. Go ahead. But
you love that. In terms of Stetson Bennett or not Stetson, holy crap, Ty Simpson.
don't
I,
disrespect my goat.
no. Um, Here's the thing, though. If the Rams, if they had drafted someone, I don't know, someone on defense, let's say, and they had signed Kirk Cousins to be the backup. Let's say in a different world, Kirk Cousins was fine being the backup. And you mentioned, like you said, Ty Simpson could play this year. In that sense, would you trust Ty Simpson or Kirk Cousins in that offense? I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but I'm saying long term in 4 years, maybe, maybe Ty Simpson could be that guy.
They don't.
Well,
But here's the thing: they don't
just
need Ty Simpson to be the guy for 17 games. They might not need Ty Simpson at all. Ideally, they don't need Ty Simpson
but
for
if
a
they had
second
Kirk
this
Cousins
year.
at backup, if you're playing 3 games,
If you can get Kirk Cousins at backup, but Kirk Cousins got like a guaranteed contract from the Raiders to be potentially a starter. Like Kirk Cousins isn't gonna just be like Kirk Cousins will probably start the season, and then he will basically be like the assistant coach for Fernando Mendoza. I don't think Kirk Cousins was gonna sign up to be Matt Stafford's backup. That's just my guesstimation.
yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong, but like he got Tim. Am I wrong? Did he get like a decent contract from the Raiders? Am I
it
am I?
was I think a $20 million contract. I think it's like 2 years, 20 million, and only some of that's guaranteed. I think it's something
Yeah.
like
Admittedly, Ty Simpson as a first round pick is getting he's not getting paid poorly
I
either.
think it
But
was a reach. I think it was a little bit of a reach. I don't hate the Rams gearing up for the future, but and like you said, the Rams are going to be pick, especially after even if they didn't draft Ty Simpson, they're not going to be picking this high,
they just
in the
they
next two
just
or three
used all their
years.
they literally just traded all their first. Like,
Yeah, they're not going to
well,
be
I guess
even
they didn't trade a
picking.
first for Miles Garrett, but they traded
Right.
obviously their first this year
I
for
would have, and this
McDuffie.
might
So
this is the last thing I'll say. It might sound completely wild, but I would have liked the Rams in a perfect world for them to not have drafted Ty Simpson, maybe even traded that pick to get maybe some more assets, and then in 1 or 2 maybe years make a big splash. There's some quarterbacks that Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow isn't fully happy with how things are running in Cincinnati. Lamar Jackson has already requested a trade. Make a big swing at a quarterback then to come to LA and then replace Matt Stafford. There's other ways to have done this. Do I think Ty Simpson? I think he's gone to the best place he could have possibly gone to for him. But for the Rams, I think they could have, I think Stafford, he said, I think a 2 year extension or something like that. So he still technically could play 2 more years. I think they could have gone a different direction in terms of quarterback. So I do think that's kind of a hot take. I do think that they could have gotten more assets for that pick that they just happened to get because of the Falcons. Um, but I do think that they could have made a bigger swing. I do think that, at the end of Stafford's road, even if you take a gap year, have a 6-win season and then take a big swing, they're the Rams. They take big swings. They could have gotten one of these guys on the open market via trade, whatever. Like I said, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson. You could have grabbed one of those guys. I don't know. We'll see. It's,
can Tim, can I interject here real quick? Two things. I don't like the Jordan Love Aaron Rodgers comparison for two reasons. Aaron Rodgers is like notoriously the hardest quarterback to work with in the entire NFL. There's a book called The Why Is Everything. It depicts basically the Kyle Shanahan coaching tree between Shanahan, LaFleur, McVay. It goes through each one. And Sean McVay and Matt Stafford have been like the perfect union. Like they have been the perfect marriage between those two. Now, it doesn't sound like this was Sean McVay's pick, so I don't know if Matt Stafford's going to be all buddy buddy with Ty Simpson. But Jordan Love being picked was not Matt LaFleur's decision. And Aaron Rodgers kind of held it against the Packers organization and Matt LaFleur, despite it not being Matt LaFleur's decision. So my whole thing is Aaron Rodgers was being moody. He's being moody. He didn't really even like enjoy the hire of Matt LaFleur in the first place. I don't think that was ever going to be a perfect marriage just because of who Aaron Rodgers is. And the second thing, you cannot possibly bank on Joe Burrow or Lamar Jackson or freaking even Jackson Dart. I don't like Jackson Dart, as I said, but you like banking on any of those quarterbacks ever hitting the open market or being willing, getting a chance to be traded for. Like you can't bank on that. Lamar Jackson had the transition tag like 3 years ago, and no one took the bait. Like no one, because I mean, they knew they weren't going to get him, right? Like they knew the Ravens were never going to let him walk at a certain point. Because why would you let a guy like Lamar Jackson walk? And I understand, hey, they're going to take big swings. Quarterbacks are notoriously the hardest position to move in the NFL. When was the last time like a top five quarterback in the NFL changed teams? Matt Stafford, of course, because the Lions started to stink toward the end of the season, and they were done. I mean, they had struck pretty much his entire tenure, and they were doing him a favor by trading him, and they still got a quarterback in return, Peyton Manning, which was again because hey, the Colts were so bad they got Andrew Luck as a compensation. Like it doesn't really happen to have a top five quarterback. You can't bank on that opening up, so you got to do it through the draft. Drafting Ty Simpson is funny enough, I think drafting Ty Simpson and hoping he develops into something great is less of a gamble than hoping Lamar Jackson or Joe Burrow's available in the open market down the road, in my opinion.
Yeah, the way I see it is this is very clearly the best window the Rams have where the roster has been built up. Stafford has a short window left. McVay has even flirted with, an earlier retirement because he started coaching so early and he could sign up for $1 billion contract to go do, broadcasting or whatever. So I think this is a very win now window. And I actually think in a very roundabout sense, the Ty Simpson pick is almost a win now move in itself because it allowed you to trade future assets for now.
True.
We're forgetting the chronological order of all of this is that they drafted Ty Simpson and then traded for Myles Garrett. And I think what that did is because they have their quarterback of the future now, they can give picks away for the next 2 years to go get Myles Garrett. And that's going to make their team so much better now to have the best defensive player in the league versus drafting a rookie defender or I don't know who would have been available for if they traded the 13th pick and they weren't going to be Myles Garrett for trading the 13th pick. They weren't going to just get Myles Garrett just off that. So I think because they made that long-term investment with Ty Simpson with that pick, maybe it seems a little high, but because they made that pick, they're either and now they were able to trade future assets that they couldn't do that. And then if Stafford gets hurt, whatever, and they bottom out, whatever, and they don't have any picks, then they're screwed for who knows how long. And so I think this pick allowed them to trade those future assets for Myles Garrett, and that allowed the team to be better right now. And if they're too afraid to give away their future picks because, what if Stafford gets hurt and they have the super expensive team and it's going nowhere? Then they would have been in a much worse situation. But yeah, that's sort of my whole take is that I really like that they made that pick. It was surprising in the moment, but that's what allowed them to go get Myles Garrett and value those future picks less. Because if they still need to find their future quarterback, they wouldn't have those picks to give up to go get Myles Garrett. So I think once you kind of saw the whole picture, it made a lot of sense.
Um, Hot takes. Look at us.
You just don't want to see Lamar Jackson in a Rams uniform. That's okay.
No, I mean that would be scary. Like that would be very scary. The only way that's happening is like Madden fantasy draft. Like Madison, like they
Miles
reset the
Garrett.
entire
Miles
league.
Garrett went to the
Miles,
Rams.
but here's the thing,
He's not a
Miles
quarterback.
Garrett,
I know.
he's not a quarterback.
I know.
The Browns had Miles Garrett for how long, and they were bad even with him, and not because of him, like they were winning games because of him, but like a quarterback raises your ceiling higher than literally any position in the entirety of sports other than adding like prime LeBron James to the Cleveland Cavaliers, or you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's well,
I know. What
but
if the Bengals have a bad year? I don't know. We'll see.
I was the who the Mike was Mike Brown, is that their owner? He's notoriously cheap.
Yeah.
Paul Brown, whatever. Sorry. For Will listening right now. Can you believe what Zach's saying right now? Joe Burrow leaving the Bengals. Come on.
You guys
Yeah.
are screwed.
Okay. So let's move on to stats. Can we move on to stats? Are we good with
Let's
it?
do
Or
it.
we want to wrap up? Any last thoughts? But who wants to go for? I have a stat that I can pitch out if you guys would like me to pitch it out first, or when you guys can go first. It's up to
Go
you.
ahead. Go ahead.
All right, Tim, you ready?
Yep.
Okay. Let me do this in the TikTok voice so I can edit it properly. Make
Better
it
not be
look good.
45s.
45. Oh no, we would crush that.
I got
Let me
nothing.
count. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, here we go. Name all 9 NBA players who spent their entire career with one team that lasted 16 seasons or more. Anyone that was 15 seasons or fewer does not count. There's just way too many of them. So we're going 16 seasons or more. There are 9 of them. You guys have 3 strikes, and then you're out.
So
So
they switch teams at all? Are they eliminated, or did they just have to spend 16 straight years with a team?
one team the entire career. So it had to be it can't be like Hakeem going to the Raptors. Like that's out. Like he's out.
Like Kareem, Lakers, Bucks, because Bucks.
Correct.
I don't know if he
Doesn't
had
count.
Lakers, but yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
Kobe,
Like, he retired with the Lakers.
Kobe Bryant.
Kobe? Kobe
That might be the
is
only one I get.
Kobe is on the list.
Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan on the list.
Udonis Haslam?
Udonis has him on the list. One of the guys I thought you guys would forget. That is the third guy on the list.
What about John Stockton?
John Stockton on the list.
This is where we get in trouble. Tony Parker?
There's
Oh, sorry. Are we alternating?
No Tony Parker.
You can just throw him out, but you're on a team. You're on a team here. Tony Parker
Yeah.
not on the list. That's your
Dang
first
it.
Yeah,
X.
he
That's
went
your
to the
first
Hornets.
X. Yeah, he played for the
Larry
Hornets.
Bird?
What's that?
Larry Bird?
No, he only played 13 seasons in the
Oh,
NBA.
wow. I forgot. Yeah, I had the back injuries at the end.
All right, so now that you guys have, I'll give you a couple hints. You're missing the longest tenured player on the list.
Oh, I'm sure. Patrick Ewing? Shoot.
I'll let you guys keep going.
Manny Ginobili.
Manu Ginobili on the list. You're missing one active player. I'll tell you that much.
Unactive.
Old.
Oh,
Old.
I mean Steph.
Yeah,
Yeah.
got him on the list.
No Draymond?
Draymond hasn't played 16 seasons. Like 14.
Oh.
So you're missing two. No, you're missing three. You're missing three.
What about Bill Russell?
Hmm.
No, he only played like 12 seasons.
Really?
Yeah, and he was a player coach the last two seasons.
It's not Karl Malone.
Now he played for the Lakers.
Yeah.
You're
Shoot.
missing. You're missing. I will say, there's one that's going to be really tough for you guys to get. But you're missing one really big one. Entire career with it's the longest tenured player.
Sure.
For Dirk, you got it, Dirk. So you're
Oh.
missing. You're missing two. One I don't think you guys will get. The other one I
Nice.
think you should get or
I'm
could get.
learning they have to be relatively modern because they just didn't play as long back then.
So you're for the most part true, but the next two guys you're thinking of, one of them is certainly not modern. The other one's like
Like
90s,
Jerry West.
2000s. No, Terry West didn't play long enough.
Oh man.
So they're both not modern.
One of them's like 60s, 70s. The other one's in 90s, 2000s. Maybe more 80s, 90s, 2000s.
Can you tell me if the 90s to 80s 2000s guy, if he ever won a title?
He did not. Famously did not. Maybe I don't know if that helps.
Famously.
Famously, he's not like he's like if you were to rank all untitled NBA players, he's probably in the top 10. I would argue, like top 10 players to never get a
Yeah.
ring.
Yeah.
Probably close. Maybe towards 10.
Eesh.
Clyde Drexler?
No, he actually did get a ring with the Rockets.
I knew he switched teams.
Yeah, he was
Bob
on the
Cousy.
second.
So it's not Barkley. He switched teams a bunch.
Yeah,
no.
I was
he's a
thinking him.
famous non-championship guy.
Zach, you're not far off with Bob Cousy.
In what sense though?
Does that mean
Like
he's
era, position, team? That's
Both, all three, all three. I think.
what?
If I'm thinking of it right.
Oh. Oh shoot. No, because he won. Well, that's a different guy. Oh, what's his name?
Yeah, it's a guy you've definitely heard of. I don't know if you're gonna get his name though.
Robert Parrish or something?
No, Robert
That's what
Parrish
I was
was the
thinking of.
80s.
Penny Hardaway.
No, this guy was basically the
Yao
Scottie
Ming.
Pippen.
Yao Ming.
No, he didn't play 16 years. This guy is basically the Scottie Pippen to Bill Russell.
Yeah, that's what's tripping me up.
Oh, how is it
He
not?
played with Bill Russell and didn't win a ring.
No, there's two. You're
The
missing
later
two
guys.
guys. You're missing two guys. The later guy
it's
didn't have the ring.
Sam Cassell, Casey Jones.
Casey Jones was on those teams, but no,
I'm
he
trying
didn't
to
play long
think of-
enough.
Oh, who are Celtics on that team?
62 to 78. Let me see if there's anything he did after his career that would be notable.
So he was on those
I'm gonna
teams.
know this name. I just can't.
Won a national championship in 1960.
Oh,
Oh, no, I know.
Not Kevin McHale.
No, he was
I'll
late
say that.
80s.
I didn't
was
know
when
if
he
he
was
was
best.
guy.
that's what I was
He
thinking.
would have
Oh,
won. He won a ring.
Kevin McHale won a couple of rings. Yeah.
McGrady, no.
Do you want initials for the older guy?
Yeah.
JH.
All right, I'll take the later guy.
What'd you say, Tim? John
John
Henson?
Henson. John
No, not John.
Havlicek. God,
John Havlicek.
that
John
Oh,
Havlicek.
he is
And
just like
then,
he's
nice.
just like one of those like mythical like creatures that like I
right,
hear about all the time, but I obviously never watched.
right, exactly. John Havlicek does fit that. And you're missing one more. I'll give you the span of his career. The last guy.
Yeah.
87 to 2005. Never won a title.
So that's
Ewing was a great guess.
18 years.
Yeah, did Patrick Ewing
I
play
think
anywhere after?
he went to like the Raptors or
You
something.
want, you want
No, it
to,
was Akeem, I thought, no?
He did too. That might just be what I'm thinking of.
can
Super,
you give
super, supersonics and
is
magic.
position too much of a hint?
Shooting guard slash small forward, I guess.
I was okay. That actually kind of helps. I was thinking of centers.
Oh, Dumars. Isaiah Thomas.
No, both those guys won rings.
I
Oh
thought
yeah,
of Isaiah
duh.
Thomas, but he won.
Shooting guard.
Dang.
He was like be he was like before his time. This is a rare guy that I think had he played in today's day and age, he actually would have had a better career. I don't know if that helps at all, but
Reggie
I
Miller.
Reggie Miller,
Yeah.
yes, Reggie
Oh
Miller,
It's
man.
a
yeah,
classic. He would have been better because he's a three-point shooter, blah, blah, blah.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
it's a
yeah.
good one.
Reggie Miller. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. That's a tough
That's a
one.
good one.
John Havlicek. I'm shocked you didn't get John Havlicek before you got Reggie Miller, but I didn't think you John Havlicek.
He
So
gave us initials. That was it.
yeah, that helps. That helps. All right, who wants to go next?
I don't have as juicy of a stat. If we can just circle back to NFL for a second,
Yeah,
Sure.
my
I'm just straight up, you know, you guys know how these stats go. This is a pretty basic stat here. Top 10 tight end receiving yards all time.
all time.
And
Antonio
so
Gates. Oh, sorry.
what'd you say?
I say Antonio Gates.
Yeah, Antonio Gates is 4, so we'll go Ian first. I was going to alternate because this shouldn't
Oh,
be
okay.
too difficult. So Tim's
Yeah.
up.
Tony Gonzalez.
Yeah, number 1.
Travis Kelce.
Number 3.
Gronk.
Yeah, he's number 6.
Do I feel confident saying him? I feel like I shouldn't go with him this early if I'm not confident. But Jimmy Graham's got to be in the top 10.
Jimmy Graham is number 9.
Wow.
What
Oh,
about
Hanging on.
Jason Witten?
Number
good
2.
guess.
Number 2 all time.
Wow. Way higher
Just
than I
absolute
anticipated.
length of his career.
Yeah,
Right?
it's true. He did it. I feel like,
Was
yeah, I feel
never
like
the best tight end, but was always good.
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So what do we have? We have 1, 2.
1, 2, 3, 6, and 9.
Let me lock in real quick.
So there's how many left?
5? 1,
Oh,
2,
wow.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Um, Shannon Sharp.
Yeah, he's number 5.
What about Dallas Clark?
No. Ian,
I
your
would have
board.
eventually gotten to him. I hope I'm saying his name correctly, or I hope I'm saying the right person's name, and I hope he's on the list. Ozzie Newsome.
No, he's number 11.
Oh, he was my next guess. Next
Yeah, I
guess.
know. I knew you were going to get that off eventually. I needed to
Yeah.
get it off before
Number
you.
11.
What about Kellen Winslow?
Mm,
No, but he was top 15.
I was going to get to him eventually. Wait, yeah, top 15? Are you kidding me? How long was his career?
Not sure.
Kellen Winslow? That's crazy. I would eventually get to him. I guess like
Tight
in
ends
the
played a
passing
different
era.
role back then in terms of receiving yards, I feel like. Plus, we have extra games now.
Oh, is it but Kellen Winslow Senior? Okay, Kellen Winslow Senior. Yeah, okay, I could guess I could see he played long enough. I was conflating him with Junior. All right, next tight end.
Couple big ones.
Are there a couple big ones? We got Kelsey Gonzalez. We got Oh,
There's
Vernon
no,
Davis?
no Vernon
That
Davis.
was my next guess too.
There's a couple
Wow.
on here who have not even played that many games, but I feel like because the game has changed so much, they're
Oh,
just
okay. Oh, that's a good hint. That's a good hint.
it's a good hint. Number 10 especially.
Greg Olson.
Yes. He is number 7.
That's good. Um, your hint is gonna make me throw a really bad guess out there, but
Yards.
I know George Kittle.
Number 10.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
yeah.
That makes me feel
8,008.
awful about my next guess.
I I was gonna say, can I pause real quick? Well, no, you do your guess, and then I'll give a fake guess. I'm not actually guessing, but this is what I
I
was
don't.
gonna guess before Kittle came into my mind.
This is a longevity play, but Mercedes Lewis.
No.
More of a blocking guy. More of
Yeah.
a blocking guy.
He's played like
Um,
20
He's
years.
played so long.
I'm not guessing this, but I was gonna guess this before George Kittle popped into my mind. I was gonna say Trey McBride, which I knew was wrong. I actually knew he wasn't on the list.
For like 3 years.
I know that's something. He's 99 in that. I was like, there's no way he's on the list, but
He will be at some
um,
point.
so what are we missing? What are we missing?
I think you're missing three. Like three
Okay.
players. I know you're missing number 8, and I think you're missing number 6, and I think you're missing number 4.
Hmm.
Uh, Max McGee. I know he's not on the list, but he was like the OG good tight
No,
end.
don't. What I would say is don't overthink it. Like,
Oh, okay.
honestly, at this point, minus one of the
Oh,
guys,
oh, oh. Mark Andrews?
no,
No?
no. At this
Sophomore
point,
season.
you could think fantasy. Minus one guy, but I think that one guy is like a big name that like is kind of just before our generation, but the other two are just like fantasy, beasts.
Okay. So kind of recent then, or at least it makes me think that's recent.
Like
Darren
one,
Waller's definitely not on the list. He
Jay
he.
Hawkinson?
no.
Oh, that's a decent guess. Okay, let me think.
Longevity comes into play with one of them. I can tell you that one of them's active, I think, but he's old. Longevity.
Davis. Longevity.
Are we like a team here?
Eric
Yeah,
Ebron? I don't
go
know.
for it.
Like, yeah, we'll
No,
go for a team at this
Do you
point.
think like Martellus Bennett is a horrible guess?
no. Well,
Oh,
no, but no.
Oh,
this is a horrible guess. Tony Scheffler.
Don't overthink it. Let's see.
Let's think of teams. Tim's. Let's think of teams. Think of teams. The Raiders, outside of Darren Waller, the one
Raiders,
season.
no. Chiefs
You
mentioned.
already got
Chargers, no.
Antonio Gates. Broncos would have been Sharp
Broncos, no.
and Vernon Davis. Okay, so Seahawks, there was Jimmy Graham, but I don't think like I mean we already got him.
Yeah, he's number 9.
Um,
Kittle, McBride, no, no. Rams,
Ram,
no.
What about the Patriots?
Aaron Hernandez. We already got
Hunter
Gronk.
Henry?
No, so you guys got Gronk. Okay, I was just double checking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we definitely got
Okay,
Gronk. I
okay,
hope we got
okay.
Gronk. I hope
You
we
got Gronk.
didn't. Okay,
You did get Gronk. I was just double checking.
okay. Um,
What
so
about
now that when they,
Delaney Walker?
No, but he was in the top. I think he was like 13 or something.
Really?
Yeah.
I was trying to remember his name. I was like Titans tight
I
end.
think he's had a top 5 receiving yards per season year of all time. I saw that too.
I'm actually shocked that he's not on the list.
He's
I'm like,
close. He's very
yeah,
close.
I'm pretty shocked that he's not on the list.
This guy who's
Um,
active, he's in the NFC, and the two teams he's played on have been in the same division. And he's active, I think, unless he retired like this year. We played last year.
okay, let's put our minds together, Tim. Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz.
Zach
Zach
Ertz.
Ertz.
Yeah, there
Zach
it is.
Ertz.
Zach Ertz.
Zerts.
Zertz.
So I believe you're only missing one now.
Did Zach Ertz play for the Cardinals,
Yeah.
the
Oh,
Commanders, and the Eagles? So he played for three teams. He played
oh,
for three
I'm
teams.
sorry. I missed
Yeah.
that. I forgot he played for the Cardinals. That's
It
my
was still a
bad.
Yeah.
good hint. It was still a good hint.
So who are we missing?
Have you got an AFC West tight end yet, other than
Or
Travis Kelce?
Shannon Sharp.
Dan Sharp and Antonio Gates.
Antonio Gates.
Yeah, we got him.
Okay, so yeah, that's it then.
Oh, that's it.
Oh, we
Okay.
got it all. Oh,
There
we
you
got
go.
him
You
all.
got it all. I thought you might have missed Antonio Gates somehow.
No, that was like my first guess. That was my. I
Okay.
remember I guessed that. That was the first thing I guessed.
I was thinking longevity so much more, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to think like okay, who is like what tight ends
Age
would I
20.
remember? Like, but I will say Ozzie Newsome being in the top, or well, Ozzie Newsome being 11 despite not playing
Yeah.
in like decades is kind of crazy.
All time like NFL career. Like he has a beast or football career, beast at Bama, all time tight end, and then really good GM for the Ravens Super Bowl.
Yeah.
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 Before you throw your stat out there, Tim, I want to just throw one stat
Short.
real quick. Um, I don't even know how to word this. All-time leading wide receiver before Jerry Rice literally destroyed every wide receiving record, and then before like the modern passing game. Okay, who is the leading all-time leading wide receiver? Steve Largent. You got it. First guess. Yeah.
I was gonna say that as a joke.
No, Steve.
I
Dude,
had him and Lance Allworth in my bag and nothing else.
it's actually insane.
Only because of Mike.
Steve Largent owned like every single NFL receiving record, or was like top three in every single season
Yeah.
stat. But and then he retired, or like Jerry Rice came in the league in like what 79 or 78, whatever it was, and then like he's like
Dang.
100th overall now in
Yeah.
receiving. Yeah, it's kind of insane how the passing game has exploded. So shout out to Steve
Absolutely.
Largent,
Yeah.
Jerry Rice was really like LeBron before LeBron too.
Jerry Rice.
Like all timer and longevity.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's the thing is like everyone's like, oh, who's the best receiver of all time? And it's like, well, what's the case against Jerry Rice?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
the only thing,
At the era too.
yeah, the only thing you can argue is peaks. But even then, it's like Jerry Rice,
Has it, no?
like Jerry Rice's peak is peak. You can go peak for peak with anyone with him. It's just like, oh, Calvin Johnson had 2,000 yards or whatever,
Yeah.
or close to 2,000 yards. You know what I mean? Like,
It's amazing
oh,
what he did in that era.
Randy Moss had highlights, and it's like, okay, that's not the same as freaking like just pouring out 1,500 yard seasons in a year, in you know, in an era where quarterbacks threw more interceptions than touchdowns. Like,
Yeah.
shout out Jerry Rice. Tim, you want to go? You got anything?
Yes, sir. So my stat is the last 15
Well,
players to throw a touchdown for the Browns. So a lot of these will get rattled off fast, and then it'll be really hard.
are we going a team? Are we teaming up?
Yeah, just throw them out there.
Shador, Watson, Baker,
Watson, Baker,
Dylan
Shador.
Gabriel,
Yep.
Deshaun Kaiser.
Joe Flacco.
Not Kaiser, Flacco, yes.
Kaiser, no.
Deshaun Kaiser was not on the list.
No, people have thrown touchdowns before him.
Wait.
Before him.
The Browns have just had so many, like the last 15.
Oh, Deshaun, we're not even getting to like 20.
Holy, that's
Seven.
They've had so many quarterbacks play.
Okay, that's what you're saying. Okay, gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha,
So
gotcha.
if you throw
Okay,
one touchdown in week 18 of last year, you're on the list.
got it. So what are we, Dylan? Okay, so
Dorian Thompson Robinson.
Yes.
it's a good pull. It's a good pull.
2 or 3 of them are like impossible that I'll have to give hints on.
Baker,
Well, if they're in the last, we kind of should be able to get him. I feel like.
Zach, before Baker, was Deshaun before Baker? Like Deshaun must have been the quarterback before Baker, right? So Baker is
Deshaun
like the
Kaiser,
first quarterbacks on the list.
Bailey
That's what I'm
Zappi.
thinking.
Yes, Zappy.
Wow, good call.
Did they have
Okay.
like a
When Baker was hurt at any point, who filled in?
Tyrod?
No, but unless my list is wrong.
He might not have
Ty-
thrown for one, but he was the guy.
Well, Tyrod would have been right before Baker because
Oh, I
didn't
actually think
Tyrod
that's
start the
correct.
season?
Right before Baker, and I think
Yeah. Baker's number one. Baker's the first guy on the list, is what you're saying.
he's not the latest, which is what's confusing to me on this list. So my list might be wrong.
Well, Who else?
Who would have filled in for Baker?
I know Baker filled in for Tyrod, so it could be
Yeah, and then Joe Flacco, obviously. But then who else
Kenny
was there?
Pickett.
No.
He was a preseason. He was all preseason with them.
Oh,
I think he did play one game, but
I thought I
he
had
might
it.
not have.
Could it have been a running back, Ian? Could it have been like a trick play?
Mm,
Just to save
maybe.
time, there is one trick play player
I knew
on
it.
it.
Who is it?
It's good. It's a good
Who would
point.
do that? Marquise Goodwin.
Very close.
Terrell Pryor.
Terrell Pryor.
Yes, but no.
Yeah. Wow. Why is this so? How many are we at, Tim? Can I ask? We're not even close. I know that.
7.
Jeez.
We're not even halfway.
That is wild. We said Joe Flacco.
Did we get everyone from 2026 or 2025?
Like last year?
No,
Are we missing the trick play from last year?
no. Trick play was before.
So we didn't get everyone from 2025, but we said Deshaun, we said Shador, we said Dylan Gabriel, we said DTR, we said Joe Flacco. There was another player that threw a touchdown for them last year, is what you're saying.
Yes.
How?
It's not a draft pick. We know that.
Jameis? No,
Yes.
Jameis.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
That was-
Jameis?
That was
Yeah.
last year, no?
Yeah. Yeah.
Was that
Yeah.
last year? I
Was
thought
it
he was with
maybe
the
2 years ago?
Giants. I thought it was 2 years. I
Was
thought
he-
he was
it
with the
was-
Giants.
Yeah,
He
my
wasn't
bad.
the guy
So
last
you
year.
have everyone from last year, yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so Jameis.
I was thinking James.
No, but that's foul. I mean, it's who can tell, right? Who
Oh, Tyler
Um,
Huntley.
yeah,
He's
never
not
threw
on
a
this
touchdown.
list. Like now I'm
Never
starting
threw.
to wonder if this list
He
is
might
right.
not have thrown a touchdown.
He might not have thrown a touchdown. He genuinely might not have thrown a touchdown.
That just shows how many if there's quarterbacks that we're naming that
But
haven't thrown
Yeah,
touchdowns.
I actually don't think he did.
Yeah, he probably
but
didn't.
I guess my confusion is like, how are there so many that like we can't even? It's like like we know Baker was the start of this. Like we know Baker's the start, and we can't even get like there's still 7
No,
that
we're
we're missing.
definitely missing some. We're definitely
But
missing some.
but I'm because they went seamlessly from Baker to Deshaun, and then Deshaun was awful. So who was Deshaun's backup his first year?
Oh,
Who was
waiting.
Deshaun Watson's
I'm
backup
waiting
his
for
first
Tim
year?
to give us a cue.
Who was Deshaun's
Um,
backup?
you want me to give you some hints?
Sure. I think at this point we need
There's
anything we can
one
get.
guy that's like a all-time backup quarterback.
Oh,
All-time backup quarterback.
Case Keenum?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
Case Keenum.
There are 2 guys that I
So
think
classic.
played in the UFL.
Oh, PJ Walker?
Yes.
Yes.
And the other one's really hard, so we might come back to that.
Okay, let's come
Well,
back to that.
Like he
Okay.
literally was like UFL, like off the couch guy.
Okay. Come back to that.
2 more guys are like very common NFL backups.
Not
I mean,
this
Derek
Both have
Anderson would have been.
Both have started
Oh.
games for the Cardinals in their careers.
Oh, Brissett.
Yep.
Yeah.
I missed that.
Yeah, because
Oh,
he was great on like Thursday Night Football. That one year.
Oh, is the other one like a younger guy, like younger-ish, to be a backup for the Browns?
I wouldn't say he's
No?
super young, but he's not old at all.
Okay. Who
It's
was
not
that?
Pickett. Okay.
Man, I thought Pickett was the one.
I mean, that was yeah, he was on the roster.
All right, I thought he was younger, honestly, but he's 31.
Oh, on the Cardinals, Minshew never. No. But he's on the Cardinals now. That's why I thought of him.
Played college at Tennessee.
Oh, the bald guy.
Yeah.
Josh, what's his name?
Josh Dobbs.
Josh Dobbs. Josh
The
Dobbs.
Pastronaut.
The patch.
Everyone has played games for the Vikings and Niners.
Oh my gosh.
Nick
Oh, I know
Mullins.
him.
Nick Mullins.
Nick Mullins.
Nick
Yes.
Nick
Okay, the
Mullins.
last 2 are the trick play and the like off the couch UFL guy.
Kareem Hunt.
You guys might not have even heard of him, but I'll say for the trick play, it was during the Baker era.
Jarvis Landry.
Yes.
Okay, I was gonna say he would
I
like
was
throw
gonna
the ball
say.
sometimes.
Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah, yeah.
this last guy was like, so do you guys remember like when they first brought like the UFL back?
Yeah.
He was one of these quarterbacks. and his initials are GG.
Was he
Ooh.
known for anything else?
No.
This is like the only thing he's known
Yeah.
for.
Like you would have to know. Like it might be
GG.
tough.
Oh, Garrett Gilbert, Garrett Gilbert, Garrett
Yes!
Gilbert, Garrett
Yes!
Gilbert.
Wow,
Come
Ian.
on!
GG
What
help.
a pull. I never would have gotten that.
I remember because I think he was drafted by the Rams or he was on the Rams at one point, and I thought he was
Okay.
going to be good. And then he went to the UFL, and I was so happy he got a chance to be a backup. And I think him and Baker had like a good relationship, or he might have been on like Hard Knocks or something. I don't remember where that's in my mind, but Garrett Gilbert, I was rooting for that guy so hard, and I don't really know. Maybe it's because UFL. Wow.
Yeah, so I don't know
Good
if that
stat.
list is wrong because some of those seemed like very good guesses, but
Nah, it makes
those were the
sense.
15 names that popped up from like Google AI or whatever.
Dude, I will say Google AI told me that Travis Etienne left the Jaguars because he was traded to the Bills. So
Hmm.
take it with a grain of salt. But I think I genuinely, Tim, I think what were the ones that we thought were good that were wrong? I mean, I think Kenny Pickett only played preseason. Kenny Pickett was traded to the
I
Raiders.
think he might have
I
played a
thought he
game.
played a game.
Didn't
No, I don't think he
throw a
did. I
touchdown.
don't think he did.
Like he
I
played a game,
genu-
didn't throw a touchdown, to be honest. Or maybe he did that for the Eagles.
There was a team that he was on. Was it the Raiders where he went to? And
yes,
Tyrod was the one where I was like, I feel like that's right. So
but
I
he
looked
was
it up on
before. He would have been before
ChatGPT.
Baker.
I looked it up
right.
on ChatGPT and it gave me different names.
Oh, what were the names that it gave
So the
you?
different names were Tyrod, which was the other really good guess. That we just said. Kaiser's on there, Kevin Hogan, Cody Kessler. But then it also says
Evan
RG3,
Hogan.
and
No, that's going back way too far.
but it doesn't have Jarvis Landry on this list. So it's actually only
So Kenny Pickett never played a regular season game for the Browns.
Pretty sure. Am I wrong in saying this? But was Baker's first NFL touchdown receiving from Jarvis?
yes.
That's what I thought. That's what I
Yes,
thought.
you're right. You're
That's what
right.
I was thinking of.
So
Oh,
Jarvis,
Jarvis.
His first
that's
total
yeah, I
touchdown was
think Jarvis
receiving.
is the furthest. Maybe my list is actually correct, I
I
think.
think so too. Yeah.
Because according to this,
Oh, dude,
like, yeah.
here's a quarterback we didn't mention that I don't think ever threw a touchdown with them. Jeff Driscoll was on the list, but I don't think he ever threw a touchdown for the Browns.
Wow. I hope not.
He didn't, but he did start a game for them. Wait. No, he did. No, Jeff Driscoll should be on this list. He threw 2 touchdowns for the Browns in 2023.
Wow.
There you go.
All right. There you go. Bonus
So
points.
I don't know. We'll grade ourselves on a curve. I think we did pretty darn good.
Was
I
it
think, yeah.
preseason or it wouldn't be playoffs?
I also don't think Garrett Gilbert ever threw a touchdown for them.
I don't
I don't
know.
even know who that is.
Let me look it up.
Garrett Gilbert. He's the guy from Dude Perfect.
Dude, is he?
He
He
is.
might be.
He is.
Garrett Gilbert, born in Buffalo, New York.
There you go.
Actually, yeah, I just looked up his stats. He has 0 career touchdowns with the Browns.
Okay. Also, I don't know where I got the Rams from. He was not drafted by the Rams. No, he was. Oh, he was drafted by the Rams. I take it back. He was St. Louis
My
Rams, sixth
stat,
round,
my stat was
2014 draft.
wrong, but that was cool.
It was fun. Look, we went down memory lane,
Yeah.
but that is a wrap on this episode of Start the Rebuild STR. We went through a couple stats. We got some hot takes. Will drill the comment section with what stats you want next, or what hot takes you want next.
We need a drill
What
from the
sports?
drill.
Will
The drill.
Dangerson, the thrill, Will the thrill. We appreciate you, man. That is Zach Patron. He is Tim Fournier. I am Ian Mills. We appreciate you guys listening, watching. We'll see you next week for episode 46, otherwise known as the. Anyone got anything? I'm a thing.
Oh, I should.
Man, you put me on the spot. Trevor Zegras.
Alex Anzalone?
Sure,
Maybe?
probably.
No, I don't know if that's right.
What about Malcolm Rodriguez? Is he 46? I don't know. I'm just thinking other Lions running back. I was thinking Jimmy Charlo on the Bills were 45, but he never actually played a game, I don't think. Or maybe he played like a game, but whatever. He
Oh,
didn't.
am I thinking of the other Lions from
Yeah, Malcolm Rodriguez. That's what I said. But
I was thinking of is Jack Campbell 45?
Yeah. That sounds right. Odd number.
maybe.
46.
Nevertheless,
There you go, Tim.
we will see you next week. We'll have some better 46s for you. Tim, Zach.
Oh my God, Alfred Morris.
Wow.
Wow. Nice. Good nightcap.
right? He's like the only legendary 46 ever.
Buzzer beater.